What is up, everybody? We are back at the shop. I know it's been a while. We have had quite a bit going on. If you can't tell from behind me, we have a lot of new equipment in here, and our newest project is the Roq Tunnel. Quick story on this. We found it used. We met with the gentleman down in Florida, flew down, picked it up, loaded it in a box truck, and drove straight back. So we haven't had time in between production to assemble and get everything ready. So we're going to take today to do that. A few things with why we are changing to a gas tunnel. We currently have the Hot Roq M. It's an infrared dryer, and for what we've been doing, it performed perfectly. My only complaint would be that you have to make a lot of adjustments to it depending on the garment color and ink color, which is fine for when I'm on press, but now that we have more people working with us, it's nice to have something that you can, in some aspects, set and forget. You have your settings dialed in for the different types of inks. Also, with the Free-to-Ride brand, we do a lot more water-based printing, and this is a lot better suited, especially with higher volume. We're able to run things through just once instead of twice, or at a higher speed. So this is something that will not only function great for the press that we have, but in the future, if we do change locations and start running two presses, this should be able to accommodate two autos feeding into that. So it's kind of getting us ready for the future. This one held up and has run everything that we've needed it to. And even before we got that, I believe we had a Vaztec D30 dryer running with the Roq. So all of these are just upgrades. You can run with just about anything as long as you're checking and making sure that you get a great cure. But we found this, went down there and picked it up, and now we are going to be installing a insulation upgrade kit on it. So to my knowledge, that these have had basically the same standard insulation setup for the past few years, and recently in 2018 the dryers came out with, I believe it's a thicker insulation that goes around the tunnel itself, and then up here on the deck this will actually have panels like these to go on top. These are all insulated as well. They now have a heat resistant fabric strips that go in there to seal in even more heat. So we've already gone ahead and installed the 3 panels on the bottom. We didn't have to do anything to those, but we do have a box with pre-cut pieces. I believe it's offered as a complete package for an upgrade. So if you do currently have a Roq Tunnel, you're able to do this and increase the insulation on your dryer, which in theory will reduce the temperatures in your shop during production and just make for a better work environment for your employees. And that's kind of what we're after, is making everything as simple and user-friendly for our people who work here, as well as providing the best finished product. And I believe that this dryer will get us even higher quality, and we'll be able to run water-based discharge prints and be able to do that at a higher production rate. So we've got 2 boxes that it came with, and you can see the pieces are pre-cut, which is really nice. So it's really just a plug and play. It's going to take just a few minutes. There is a PDF installation guide available that Ryonet can provide you, or you can just have a tech come out and do it. We chose to do it ourselves. So we have removed all the panels on the top, as well as the blower from up here. And then they give you a list of tools to purchase to help make the installation go easier. So you have some clamp sets. They tell you to grab a scraper, and then there is some degreaser and non-flammable contact cement that we'll be using to glue some of the pads on the top. And then once that's done, we will wrap the new insulation in here, tape everything up. All the exposed insulation will get this reflective heat tape on there, and then we will be able to put the top on, put the sides on, the skirt around the bottom, and then hopefully next week we will have the company here to set up the gas to run to this, as well as venting it out of the building, and then it should be fully in operation, and then we will be saying goodbye to our Hot Roq M, which, by the way, has been a really great dryer. I would say if you have a choice, depending on your volume, you might want to look at getting the XL, only because you have one additional chamber, and that gives you a little bit more time in the chamber, which is better for curing. And I do believe the newer dryers have 2 sections in them. So the first section is actually heating up first, and it's a little bit hotter, so it brings your garment up to temperature. And then the second one is just maintaining that. So that is a nice feature. But I will say, yesterday we were running, I think we ran about 250 t-shirts. It was just left chest, black imprint, at about 720 pieces an hour for the entire run. So this thing was able to keep up with it. So we printed 250 shirts in about 22 minutes, which isn't bad. And that is just with this dryer, and it was able to do everything we needed. But this one will allow us to go deeper into the water-based printing, which is kind of why we started the screen printing for the brand, because it provides a much favorable print for our style and the stuff that we want to produce. So having a gas dryer where the air is moving around, drying out the print, and giving us a perfect cure is what we're after. So let's get started. We are going to start by scraping off all the excess insulation off the top, off these metal bars. We'll use a degreaser, and then we are going to be using a contact cement to put the felt strips on all of these parts, just on this center section. And after that, we will move to the insulation panels. I'm gonna go find a long sleeve t-shirt, because this stuff has got tons of fiberglass in it, and it will get into your skin, shirt, arms, everything. So just be prepared while you're working on that. Let's get started. After we've scraped off all the adhesive from the foil backing that was on this metal and cleaned it up, we are going to use this heavy-duty degreaser. Basically everything that you need for this is available at Home Depot. So they made it super easy. All the products there are basically 2 or 3 aisles from each other. You go to one store, pick it all up, and that'll help you complete this whole project. So we're going to spray this onto these top sections where we will be replacing with the foam pads, and we'll get that started. So this is one of the, I guess we'll call it foam pieces that goes onto the frame. This is the bigger one, so this will actually make an L shape on this top bar. And I don't know if you can see, but one side is a little bit smoother than the other. So you are going to want to put the more rough side onto the metal. And so what we'll be doing for this part right here is brushing on the non-flammable contact cement. For these 2 parts right here, this side and this one, we will be using a 3M spray adhesive because it is vertical. We'll let that tack up, and then we'll install those pieces. So this is what we are going to be using. It is contact cement. This is the non-flammable one. There is another one in orange that does not say it's non-flammable. This one was a little bit harder to find in Home Depot, so I ended up just grabbing that at Ace Hardware. Also picked up a brush to apply this, and over here you can see I just have them roughly laid out. This one will go across here. So it's just gonna be this middle square around the top blower, and then that one over on the furthest side that will be getting it. This outside edge does not have anything on it for the upgrade, so we will get the contact cement put down. Those will go there, and then we actually have, for the other edge, we got the pack of 4 DeWalt clamps. They list that in the installation instructions. We will be running this 2x4 on top of here because this piece is wider. It will be, let me see if I can get it up here. It will be one solid piece. We will clamp it. After the top is dried, we will then bend it and it'll run down the front side. So that will be an L-shaped when it is done. So here's a view from above. These 2 strips, this one and this one, you are going to want to make sure they are the ones that run past. And then this one and that one are slightly smaller than the first 2. So make sure you guys have those in the right place so that everything lines up correctly and you will be good to go. We're gonna let all of this dry. Then we'll go ahead and sweep and vacuum up, clean all of this before we start doing the installation. All right, so this board here is used to keep the edge really tight on here so that you make sure the contact cement adheres well. So then when we remove this, we're gonna use the 3M spray adhesive here and down these 2 sides, let it tack up, and then we'll install the other pieces, fold this down, and we should have a tight fit. All right, and I actually used the cardboard packaging, this just L-shaped, to hold that on there. I let this tack up, and so now we are going to install the last 2 strips, which go on these 2 sides, and the felt will be done. All right, so the first step is going to be to install the 2 sections that wrap around the top part of the dryer. After that, we will go ahead and tape these into place right about here, so you still have some of the frame exposed so that you can tape to it, and the other half of the tape will go on the insulation. It'll also be cleaned right up against here. And then next, we're just gonna set the piece in that goes over top of this and wraps around. That way we can tape the seams here, and we'll finish right up on top, and then we'll go from there. So everything is installed on the top. And you get a custom piece for the center that we cut and trimmed in. So now we're going to tape that up. And then down here on the side is a metal piece, an adapter that you will screw in 3 spots, and that will prevent these from falling forward we're actually gonna run another piece of tape there at the end. So you'll have 3 of those to go here, and then we can put the sides on. All right, so that's gonna wrap up everything that we need to do as far as insulation. The only stuff left we have is to run the gas line, which has already been put in place. And then we will take our electrical and have it moved over to run the dryer. We'll get it all put together and fired up. So yeah, we're super excited to have this. It's a big upgrade for us and definitely will make a difference in production speeds and capability. And then hopefully we can get another one, and then this dryer will be able to take 2 presses into it, which will be a big boost for production and help us crank out even more t-shirts. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll be back. Let us know if you have any questions. Drop a like. We'll see you guys next time.